So, who's the best flatbed company? Let's talk about two and make some comparisons. Of the tubiest, the best YouTube subscribers on the planet. That's you. And I'm 50 plus. And I had a subscriber ask me a pretty good question, and I think I would like to share that with y'all. Tom Co, he says, hey, I really appreciate your information on YouTube. Leaning towards Swift flatbed. If I get my CDL next week, and you will get your CDL. Okay? So not an if, but you will get it. Okay? The reason for Swift is they have a terminal not far from Los Angeles. Please share the difference between Swift versus Melton. Also, which truck would you prefer one day after becoming an owner-operator? That is two excellent questions. So let's answer Tom's questions, okay? Of course, you know, I started my career at Swift, and my end game for even getting into trucking was to do oversized loads and heavy stuff with my son, okay? And of course, you do that with, you know, an open deck. Some things I didn't know about this industry until I got in it and started really learning and investigating. I found that you don't just get right into heavy, you know. I mean, honestly, this is what my original thoughts were, is that I would get my CDL and then, you know, go to a dealership, buy a truck, and start running with my son, and you know, buy an RGN and start pulling. You know, it's no big deal, right? But then I found that that's just not how it works. You even that I can buy the truck, I can buy the trailer, no problem. The insurance company wouldn't even insure me because I had no experience. Not only did I not have open deck experience, it's zero experience. It was like, no, you know, I thought I was actually waiting for the insurance guy to say, dude, you smoking that shit? You know, I was like, what's the problem? You know, well, there's you know, steps you have to take to get to that goal, right? So I didn't realize at the moment the significance, okay? So when I got with my mentor and I was riding with, you know, training with him, and I told him that I wanted to go to the flatbed division once I got off his truck, and you know, and he kind of basically told me, yeah, you know, you can. However, if you really want to make some money, you're going to either have to do refrigerated with Swift or drive-in. And so I went with drive-in because, you know, he'd been doing it for a long time. I took his advice, which was right, okay? But very shortly after I got started, the guy who runs the I was in at the Phoenix terminal, and the guy who works in the I guess recruiting for the flatbed division, the guy walked up to me and says, hey, are you interested in doing flatbed? I was like, yeah. And he started talking to me a little bit about the flatbed division, and I was, what made me reluctant about taking flatbed with Swift is because it was new. They were still growing it, and I was worried about, you know, freight movement. So I just didn't do it. And being into it for a little while longer, not even a year, I realized that again, I mistakenly made the right choice. Okay, and it's because although they're growing their flatbed department, a year ago, but 2 years ago, it wasn't going to be feasible, and I'm glad I didn't do it. And I will tell you this, that since when this pandemic started, I would see Swift flatbeds, and I know there were flatbed trucks, rather. And I said not flatbeds, but flatbed trucks. And I knew they were flatbed trucks because they have mid-roofs in the flatbed division now. And I would see those mid-roof pulling dry vans and refrigerated freight. And that was because they didn't have enough flatbed freight. I'm just assuming, okay? But, I mean, it makes perfect sense that they didn't have enough flatbed freight to keep those guys moving. And, hence my decision to do flatbed with a true flatbed company, okay? You guys have heard me mention it over and over and over again. Find out what it is that you want out of trucking. What's your end game? Find a company that's going to feed into that end game. If you want to do tanker, don't come to Melton. Don't go to Swift. These companies do not pull tanker, so they're not going to help you reach your end game. Now, that first year that I spent at Swift, I don't regret it, because I actually had a good time. I made really good money, and that company isn't what people frame it to be. It's just not that, okay? And I really had a good job, so a good time. So I don't regret my time with them. But if I had it to do over again, and I'm using hindsight and now knowing what I know now, I would have gone through community college or something like that, because I could pay to get my schooling done. That's not a problem. And then acquired my CDL, and then went with a company that had a training course like Melton does, and you can come here right out of school. Just get your CDL, get hired, go to a mentor's truck. They're gonna teach you how to drive. They're gonna teach you how to secure loads, and then you go solo. And if I'd have done that by now, I would be, 2 years open deck, okay? And then that much closer to my ultimate goal, okay? So my advice to Tom is, if you want to do flatbed, if you need to go through a mega carrier to get your CDL, cool, not a problem. Go ahead, do the route you're thinking. But if that's not the issue, you're going to acquire your CDL before you go to a carrier, then my suggestion, if you want to do flatbed, go to a flatbed only company. Because I can tell you right now, we didn't slow down. Well, we may have slowed down a little bit, but not enough to feel any difference, because Melton kept us moving through that pandemic. Okay, I personally haven't noticed any difference, but I'm doing regional, and nothing's changed. From beginning when they were shutting everything down and all that. No, because this is what they do. Okay, and my advice to you is to go with a pure flatbed company that will hire you if you're fresh out of school. Okay. Secondly, because the company has a terminal near your home, does not mean their flatbed customers and the routes and stuff that they do with flatbed goes in your area. I mean, you need to make sure that there's enough flatbed work in your area to justify going with that company. Understand what I'm saying? You may get with them and then find out. That's what I'm saying is you may get with them and find out that they don't move flatbed freight in that area. You know, I don't know. I don't know. You're gonna have to find out, and hopefully, you get with a recruiter that's not gonna lie to you. Okay. Find out if you can do your mentor phase with a flatbed mentor. Okay. These are pretty valid questions, but my lack of knowledge in this situation, in this industry, kind of prolonged my end game, because I didn't know. That's the reason why I got into trucking, so I could learn it, and then help my son with his business, right? Building a heavy haul business. So don't let I do these videos because I want to give you guys straight up, okay? I want to talk the truth to you, and then you don't have to make the same mistakes that I've made, or and I've been pretty lucky, okay? I've been able to choose right pretty frequently, and a lot of that was some investigating, but a lot of luck, okay? But I got the answers for you because you're watching me do it. Go with if you want to do dry van, then the possibilities are endless. If you want to do reefer, then go with a strong reefer company. Swift does have a big reefer division, okay? And Prime is a reefer company. Yeah, they got a lot of reefer stuff, okay? If you want to do tank, then you need to find a tank company, all right? And all of these needs to fit in your program. If your program is you need to go with a carrier that's going to help you get your CDL, meaning you're not going to go through a private school like a college or anything like that to get your CDL, that you're actually going to go through a mega carrier so that they can pay for that CDL up front and then take it periodically out of your pay, then do that, okay? Because those are what your options are. But if you come to a company with your CDL in hand, you don't necessarily need to go with a mega carrier. You could go to a smaller carrier that's going to pay you a little bit better, and even specialize. And I keep saying Melton because this is where I can tell you facts, because I'm living it, okay? Just like I can tell you facts about Swift. I know that the bullshit that you hear is all bullshit. It is not true, okay? Just because you see a couple of videos of some trucks wrecked, that doesn't mean that. Think about it. If that company wrecked out all their trucks, why would they have over 20,000 of them? They can't be that big and not be successful, okay? So that's bullshit. And I know that it is because I lived it, okay? I know what Melton is about because I'm living it. So I can speak honestly and truthfully about them. And, I also considered or applied for Maverick, pure flatbed company. Well, I think they do others, but the main thing is flatbed. And I'd seen their terminal, and it's nice, man. It looks from the outside. I've never been inside, but their equipment is always nice. It's always clean. It's always fresh. You never see a jacked up, beat down, old ass Maverick truck. Those sort of things kind of draw my attention. The company that would keep their equipment up keep their equipment fresh, keep their fleet fresh. It's attractive to me. It makes me think that they give a shit, right? Melton was the same way. It just so happens at the time that Maverick wasn't hiring in my area, and Melton was. And again, I'll tell you, a lot of what happens to me is some damn good luck. I don't want to sound like a genius, because that's not what happened. I got lucky, and this company is pretty goddamn good. I have zero complaints, zero. Okay, and it's going to help me reach my end game. If I'm going to do something else, if I want to haul, lumber or trees or something, then I'm not going to do that here. I'm at the wrong place. But, I want to do open deck shit, so I'm at the right place. Could I have gotten there doing flatbed at Swifty eventually? Yeah, yeah. It's just you're doing flatbed. My problem is whether or not you're gonna get enough work to keep you busy and make you happy, get where you want to go, and are they ready for that? I don't know. They may have grown to that point where they can, but you better find out before you sign on the dotted line. Okay, before you commit, find out. Make sure they're gonna get you, that it benefits you to be in your area. Okay, to have a terminal in your area. Melton does not have a terminal in Houston. However, they do have a parking facility. Okay, and so it's a shared lot where you can go, and it's secured. My vehicle is parked there, and they send me home. Then I go over there and I park, get in my car, and I go home. So the company that you choose they don't have to have a terminal in your home city for it to be viable, because you can they could have a secured lot where you can park, a shared lot. That's big for companies that don't have a terminal in that state or in that general vicinity. Okay, but they hire out of there, and they have drivers over there, so they'll rent a bulk of parking spaces at these paid lots. Okay, and these are secured lots, and you can park there overnight, for the week or for the month or whatever. So there are options. You don't have to be a terminal. Okay, I don't know what the real reason that you would want a terminal at the house or close by the house, but if that's what it's about, don't let that be the only decision, because you can shop around to other companies and ask them that question. Here's where I live. Do you have any type of parking around that area? It's a good question to ask when you're talking to a recruiter. Okay. Hopefully they don't lie to you, and that's big, man. I keep saying that, but that's big. It's the reason why I kept saying, when I would tell you to call Autumn and talk with her, because she's honest, and she'll tell you straight up. I like that. That's very valuable. She's not with Swift anymore. She's not even a recruiter anymore. She's doing something different now. But recruiters are pretty bad about that, man. And I'm gonna tell you, a recruiter's job is to get you there. That's their thing. And once you show up to the school, then they're done with you. Their job is to get you to the training, or their job is to get you to orientation if you already have a CDL. Once you get to orientation, they've earned their money. They're done. They're gone. Try to call them if you try to call them and see what happens. If I'm lying, try to call them. After you get to school, call your recruiter, try to get them on the phone. If your recruiter talked to you after you get to that school, you got lucky. you got one of the good ones. The chances of that, do you want to roll the dice with that? This is a career we're talking. Okay, this ain't fast food. You're not gonna, go to the window and somebody is doofus behind the window. You say, hey, go get somebody else to the window so I can get my goddamn order right. No, this is a career. So you want somebody that's gonna shoot you straight. I'm not gonna bullshit you. And recruiters are bad about that, really bad about that. Okay, but have these questions in hand. Ask them, pointed questions. You want to know if that terminal in near your house is going to benefit you, because if they have no flatbed freight up there, it really doesn't benefit you all that well. Okay, because they're still going to have to route you home, and if there's no freight up there, they got to deadhead you home. So it may not be beneficial. You need to make sure before you commit, okay? I'm gonna end with this one. So I've been rambling for 20 minutes. I've said it before, I'm gonna say it again, and I continue to say it. Find out what your end game is, and then find a company that's gonna help you reach that goal, okay? That's more crucial than, listening to me and then, coming to Melton and then find out that, you want to eventually someday own a stretch neck Peterbilt with a matching reefer. How the hell is that going to benefit you when you've learned to drive flatbed stuff? Oh, you did have a second question. And that second question was about what truck would I recommend if you're gonna go on route. In fact, stay tuned. The next video, we're gonna talk about that. That way I don't keep y'all on here for too long. 22 minutes is long enough, right? I appreciate you, Ubiest. I hope what I said could benefit you some. These was my experience, so it's not bullshit. This is what I went through, so you guys know, okay? Till I see you again, deliver undistracted, and here's your boot.